Ba weep grana weepin' bong, and welcome back to my channel. And today I'm super hyped because it's mine. It's finally mine. I have waited an eternity for this. The MEGATANK is finally here in my grubby little mitts, and it's huge. Alright, as we often do, we will now start by checking a look at the box. And of course, where there's a big bot, there's a big box. And this box is absolutely huge as well. Absolutely awesome artwork though on the front. It's kind of like understated, right? I really like this kind of faded picture in the background. We can see Megatron himself with his massive sword. Yes, this dude comes with a cool sword. We get the MT-01 Monocrat MEGATANK. Then at the bottom, we get the MEGATANK here. Nice. At the side, we get MEGATANK Monocrat. At the back, we get the kind of understated version of the alt mode, but then also some super shiny MEGATANK writing. On the side, super shiny MT-01. And that's it, really. The bottom side is just like a folding box. The box feels really, really nice. No window, so for those of you who don't like to take things out of a box, you get a quite nice premium feeling understated box for your money. Inside the box, they've kind of stayed away from the cards that we get in other third-party figures, so something a little bit like this with a character card with a little bit of a bio and some stats on it. We don't get one of these, which is actually pretty rare for third-party figures. We usually get something with them, but we do get the Destructions with his fuzzed out face there, as if that could hide who this is supposed to be. The Destructions are, I'm just gonna say it, trash. These are not great Destructions. I would highly advise watching a video overusing the Destructions, because these Destructions are the worst. First we check the box, then we check the bots inside. Oh my days. I really like the way that this bot looks. This alt mode is now, I do believe, my favorite Megatron alt mode for a tank, especially a Cybertronian version. Look at this. Hasbro, look at this. Don't give me no laziness. This is a MEGATANK. This is so cool. Yes, it reminds me from Metal Slug, the tank from that. I think they may have taken some inspiration from that, but overall, this is just, it's like a piece of art. I'm going to be honest. When we check in and look at this as well, it's like a brushed steel effect across the whole of the bot, especially on this turret piece here. I really like that. It looks like it's been in a few battles. It looks like it's seen a bit of war. The different shades on the steel, so you can see like it's made of different things or a bit more weathered in different parts. This kind of gold or copper piping that runs through it as well. It's just beautiful. So much detail going in on this. Even round the back, you've got this kind of silver and the copper bits here as well. And if you look at these, obviously turn into the feet, but just look at how kind of brushed and weathered that looks. Absolutely beautiful. The cannon itself looks very impressive. The main piece of this does remove to become Megatron's cannon at the end, but it is just beautiful. Underneath, if we go underneath this bad boy, we can see it has wheels, and it glides and breezes along very well on these. Even on my super slippery surface, it does go very well, and you can hear those wheels really doing the work. The only thing I would have liked to have seen on this, I guess, would have been maybe some rubber tracks just to actually make the tank move like a tank. I do really appreciate it when they put that in, but because of the engineering and the way it is, I guess I can understand why that couldn't happen. Overall, this tank is just beautiful. I am blown away. One lovely feature on this tank as well is we get a little bit of light on this, and really well done to the team here as well. That's not the only piece that lights up on this figure. We'll go into more of it later on, but it came with the batteries. Woohoo! Well done, well done. It came with the batteries. Imagine that. You buy a third-party figure and it comes with the batteries already. Genius! Now, as I've said, this is a big boy tank, and if you're saying, is it masterpiece scale? If you believe that a space tank is that much bigger than a truck, then yeah, I guess. This thing is huge. It's going to be bigger than a lot of the mainline figures in your collection. I certainly maybe have one figure that I'll bring out when we go into the bot mode to see how that scales. I have maybe one figure that it could scale with, but it's huge. It's going to tower above anything that isn't a combiner. It's that simple, or isn't one of the Titans. Okay, so it's transformation time. First thing we're going to do is we're going to remove this big old cannon. Lift this section up, and then you can remove this without any kind of challenges. We'll just manipulate this the way that it needs to be done. So fold that round to there. This piece goes round to the sides, and then we'll connect back over, and then you can put this back in, because this is the piece that we'll use, and we'll try and get this out now. That's the piece that we'll use to connect it onto his arm. So there's your mega cannon for Megatron's mega arm. Look at it. Then at this point, all we're going to do is uncouple both of the what will become the legs here at the back. So to do that, you just separate it out. They are really well plugged in. You'll see there's a massive tab here just on this section. Let's just put it out. It's a massive tab here on this section, and also there is some really big tabs that click directly into that piece. Move you out. They click directly into that piece just there. So big old tabs. There's some big old heavy legs. Oh, there we go. Move those out, and then just rotate the leg around, and the same on the other side. Just rotate them both around. So we've got something in this position. At this point, we'll also unbuckle this section here to just untab this. So underneath, you've got a fairly strong tab kind of locking all of this together, and that will unfurl here, and then you can untab here as well. So there, and then you've got all of this then that you can play with. We can just fold this section back in where it should be. Then you've got Megatron's chest, or what will become Megatron's chest, just kind of sat here. Just while we're on this bit, actually, here is these legs do go down, but mine are incredibly stiff. To maneuver down this joint on mine, especially on this leg, is incredibly stiff. So I'm going to try and use some WD-40 on it, because without these bits, it really doesn't do what it's supposed to when it comes to the articulation. So I'm just spraying a little piece of WD-40 on there to hopefully help it. Oh, there we go. They do move, but certainly when that's better. Yeah, a little bit of WD-40 on that. WD-40 fixes everything. And you can see the other side moves freely anyway. But I would definitely recommend a little dab of WD-40 if you're having the same problem as I did with this specific joint here. At this point, we can just lever that up and bring everything back in. So this joint here will ratchet around and go back in on itself before these two sections clamp together to just redo the hips on this bad boy. Go on, lad. Once you've got them both in, it should fit snugly into there. I just had to do that a little bit off camera then, so I do apologize, but it's a big unwieldy thing. You just have to maneuver the joint in and then kind of push them both up here till you get something like that. At this point, you can also look to start them working on these legs. Now there's another piece here that's almost plugged in at the back, so if you separate these two a little bit, then you'll be able to bring it out without damaging anything, because that will snap down and then that'll snap down. So this forms a very, very strong crotch area. Next up, work on these thighs. So we're going to cover up these tracks at the back by rotating that around, and then same on the other side. So you should end up with these. Then the tracks will unclip here and unclip here. This section here and this section here will collapse in on itself. So you've got something that looks like that. These sections here at the side, just bring them down. For now, slide it down and then pull it up. This is on a kind of a spring loaded section here, so just make sure that you remember to pull that out. The next bit as well, we're going to need to actually maneuver this around a little bit so we can pull out the tanks. So these tank sections clip in very, very well here, but we've got one out. At this point, this bit can just fold back on itself. It's on like a double hinge there, so make sure it clips back nicely. Once you've done that, you're going to rotate this section around, and then you'll see you've got that section there and that section there. This will fold around until it matches up like that. So you've got the full nut, bolt, light, whatever it is that's supposed to be there, just goes on that, and then connect it back in to the leg. There we go. There's the leg. Looking lovely. This can then go back down and snap back into place, and do the same on the other side. Very cool. While we're here though, I don't want to forget to do this. Maneuver that section out and then put that back down like that. So you've got knobbly knees. Turn it around to the other side and just do the same thing. So make sure that these are kind of out the way for now. So we'll just move those to the back. Fold it down. Pull this whole section out, which isn't as easy to kind of get out as you'd hope. Can be a little bit challenging. There we go. Just work it from the bottom. Twist this bad boy around. Rotate this section up. Rotate that section up. Erg. Come on, you can do it, matey. Thank you. And then it will fit very snugly. Very snugly, it will fit back in. Just make sure that double hinge at the back there is all the way up, because that's what was stopping me from getting it in. Fits in nicely. Fold that down. Fold that down, just to clip everything in. Last thing we want to do is bring out the knobbly knees that are on the back. So there's your knobbly knees out. Clamp them in. Nope. Bring out the knobbly knees. Clamp it down. then they'll clamp on there. Then, last but not least, twist. Twist. Oy, oy, oy. Twisting everything around. Get the knobbly knees past that section. And then foot comes out. And the foot comes out. Oh! Stage 1! Next up, we're going to come up here and just fold this bit forward. This will reveal all of these beautiful looking hands. And then you can disconnect the join that's here on this piece. And then fold down that tab that was there and that tab. We don't need them anymore. Not something we'll ever need again. So, well, not during this transformation anyway. Rotate these sections here round, and then that'll fit back in there, and then that'll fit back in there to make his proper nice 80s style shoulder pads. Next up, the arm. Bring it up. Oh, fold this section out. Sorry. Little details that you will forget if you don't do it at this piece, and then up this goes. Oh, there we go. And then the next piece here will go, oh, the same, and we're golden. Now we rotate the arm, we rotate the arm, then we rotate the whole body round and pull down on his ab crunch. There we go, looking a bit more like Megatron already. Sort out this section here in a second, but we'll bring everything back up to where it needs to be first. Next up, bring both the arms in. We'll deal with the positioning a little bit at this point as well, because otherwise they'll get in the way a little bit. You got to tap here, tap here, tap here, tap here. Bring the old head down. Once it's down, we can then, no, we missed it. Tap that in to the top, and then fold this section up, and it should then tab in here. So you kind of got to fold them both in at the same time, because there's a big tab that sits in this. So I did get that in the slightly wrong order then, and then we're looking good. Just wish he'd have come with a face. Around the back, we swing this around, and then this little bit posts into the gap that's there, and then that will sit quite nicely there on the back, and then this section here will collapse in on itself, and then it kind of moves diagonally. So see if I can, there we go, you'll see it kind of moves diagonally, and then there's a big tab for it to sit in once it moves diagonally. It's kind of a weird piece, especially when you look at the destructions. They don't tell you it very well. So this piece here moves diagonally that way for when you need to do anything with it. And there we have, short of a couple of other things, the mighty Megatron. So here we have the Megatank, aka Mighty Megatron, in all of his glory. But you're probably thinking at this point, Vector, that head is not ideal. That head has no face. Did somebody take his face off? Face off? No, nobody took his face off. But what I will say is this is the head that I use to transform, just in case there's any scuffs or anything like that. I do quite like this blast shield face, but he comes with a mighty Megatron head. Oh, yes. Look at that head. Very, very nice. Very good detail. He actually comes with two heads. One that kind of grins, and the other one that kind of looks a bit sourpuss. Not a happy head. Very well detailed all the way around. I'm gonna go with a smiling Megatron. I like that. Very easy to swap over the head. Pop off the head. Pop off the new head. And there! Oh! That's looking a bit more Megatron-y. But if you don't like your screws, they give you these. So they're giving you these to go in all of the little holes to fill them. That is phenomenal. I love it when figures do that. The last figure that did that I had was Commander Grant. And funnily enough, I will bring bring Commander Grant out later on, because Commander Grant is actually the figure I think might scale with this bad boy, and I think they'll look very good together. Like I said, as we carry on down the legs, very good looking, hides the transformation incredibly well. I mean, if I looked at this on a shelf, I would possibly think, surely that thing doesn't transform. One thing I do want to mention on this, plastic feels very, very sturdy. And not only that, but the plastic is then backed up with a whole host of die cast, including the feet, which add a lot of heft and heaviness to the figure. Very good as you go through. There are parts like this. This is die cast. This is die cast because they have that nice cold steel feel. And then other parts of it are also die cast as you go through. All of the joints sound great as well. So now let's check on with the articulation. You get a full 360 on the head, kind of, if I raise it up like that. And he'll look all the way up, he'll look all the way down as well. But the head does come off a little bit easy. You have to apply a bit of force, but the head does come off quite easy, so just be aware of that. On the arms, we will get a full 360 on a very impressive, not only sounding but feeling ratchet. If we move this out as well, we can get it all the way up, and again, very impressive feeling and sounding ratchet. On the arm there, we'll get that all the way around, and then you'll be able to do almost a full 360. If you move this again, this shoulder pad, you will get that full 360. You can also move this shoulder pad out the way to get a full range of movement there. But I don't really like the shoulder pad coming out. You could maybe have it a little bit like that, but I like it in like this. On the hand, we get a full 360 here on the hand. There is, on every single finger, separate articulation, including one piece of articulation here, another one here, and another one here. The thumb will also articulate all the way out and go inside as well. So huge amount of articulation here on the hands. At the waist, a full 360, and oh yes, an ab crunch that, as long as you don't go too far with it, doesn't look bad. It doesn't look like the bot's trying to split himself in half. So that's good. The challenge, though, on this figure when it comes to the articulation is definitely here in the legs. You can go all the way back, like so, but you cannot go all the way forward. What you need to do is pull this out, and then you can move it all the way forward. Now, this is why I put that WD-40 on this joint, because when mine came, this was basically stuck into position, and I thought I was never going to be able to move the legs the way that they need to. So just be aware that if yours does come and you can't move one of the joints, get some WD-40 on it. Do the transformation first, get to that section, slap some WD-40 on it, and you'll be on to a winner. Going on to the back, we do get single piece of rotation and a double knee there. Very cool, very nice. Again, strong sounding ratchet. Foot is on a bit of a wobbler, but not too much. You'll get some thigh swivel here and some massive leg swivel because of the transformation. There is a little bit of thigh going on as well, but the legs are probably the most challenging piece of the articulation here. But overall, you can still get some phenomenal poses out of the dude. Accessories, accessories. Let's check a look at your accessories. Boom! Cannon. Big old cannon. This locks into position, as you can see here. Tab it in. Boom. It's on. And that's not really going anywhere unless you're going to put it on. Unless you're going to pull it off yourself. Very good looking cannon. Hefty, weighty. But because of the strong ratchets, you can position this however you want to make him pose, however you want. Amazing job. I am sick of figures that they come with huge weapons, and then when you put the huge weapon in their hand, their arm just goes. None of that with this bad boy. This bad boy has all the moves and is more than willing to be able to use this gun any way he sees fit. Fantastic. Go get him, Tiger. So for those of you who are wondering how well can you pose this dude, look at that pose. That is a killer pose that you'll be able to get on this dude. Oh no, that's not the end though. As I did promise you at the beginning of the video, this dude comes with a massive sword. Look at this. Purples, silvers, blacks, very nice. Touches of grey as well. A little bit of that kind of weathered look on this as well, which I really appreciate. More of this, absolutely phenomenal. Big tab on this. We'll just then tab into the hand. Let's put the thumb around it, and then we can just tab that into the hand, and then close the hand around it. Not too difficult. Very big sword, very big cannon. Everything about this figure is huge. Oh yes. Megatron also comes with one more little hidden feature. As we already said, he comes with that cannon that lights up, but also every single one of the heads lights up as well with those little light up eyes. Back of the head just comes off, stick it back on, and then you've got Megatron with some light up eyes as well. See if you can really see that. So that's good, and again came with batteries for both of the heads. If I just pull this one off and then swap the heads over, you can see how easy that is. And there he is with his light up eyes and his light up gun and his massive sword. Let's bring that gun into focus. Yes, mate, bring it on. Alright, to really show how big this bad boy is, now let's do a size comparison. So is he masterpiece scale? No, not really. There's your MP10G, and he is towering over him. I think he could cut him down with no problem whatsoever. I did mention before about the Commander Grant, so I don't know, let's bring in Commander Grant, the IDW War Within Optimus Prime, and no, he's still bigger than that. And then finally, the kind of Prime that I believe he kind of scales with, for me, is probably Power Baser, but yeah, he's still bigger. I'd love a Power Baser with this kind of brushed metal as well. He's huge. He's absolutely massive. You're gonna struggle to really allow him to compare with anything else in your collection. He is something on his own, 100%. So, final thoughts on this bad boy. He is mega. I have been hyped for this figure for probably over 12 months, I think now. He is insanely good. It is not often for me that a figure does live up to everything that I hoped for that figure, but this one does, and actually exceeded my expectations. And this is the first figure in a long time. Usually I'm sat here going, I wanted to love this figure so much, it came so close. This exceeded all my expectations. I had never heard of this company before, but I know for a fact I will be buying more stuff from them in the future. I know they have a Megatank #2 coming out, and I'm certainly hyped for it. Really well done. Cannot say anything better for this figure. Absolutely adore it. Absolutely love it. Go out and buy it if you can. Fan-dabby-dozy. I'll see you in my next video. I'm going to go play with this thing a bit more. Peace!